Welcome to KCCK's Culture Crawl. I'm Dennis Green. Say hi to the maestro, Tim Ankowich.
How's it going, Dennis?
Music director from Orchestra Iowa. Thanks for being here today.
Great to be back, yeah.
And let's see, we're here to talk, of course, about upcoming stuff,
Sure.
but I should say congratulations, because you are 2 shows in 2 weeks. You just finished your collaboration with TCR,
Right.
The Rodgers and Hammerstein show, and
Yeah.
it was, from all reports, fabulous.
It was a great success, and it was a whole lot of fun, and it just goes to show you the capability this orchestra has, like to turn on a dime from something that's more theatrical, more Broadway, more popular, to something now that we're going back to the sort of the standard symphonic stuff that we're really designed to do. But the logistics behind such partnerships and such programming is really a step up from what we were able to do pre-flood. So I always continue to marvel at the professionalism this organization has achieved.
Well, and being able to partner with high quality organizations,
yes,
too, because the orchestra is nationally renowned, and we're kind of used to that. But this is an opportunity to go out and work with that talent in our area that is of the same caliber, even if they are not professional performers.
Well, and that's the other thing. Even though I'm very proud of the professionalism that we've achieved in relatively short time, you can't lose sight of the fact that you still have to be part of the community and to reach out and partner with other organizations and great talent, because there's a lot of lawyers and doctors and administrators out there who are closet singers, and really good ones and really great performers, and to give them the chance to actually share the stage with a group of this quality and let them shine and do incredible work has been a real privilege.
A win for all involved. But like you said, it's a pivot week.
It is a pivot week.
So you go from the pop stylings of
going to
Broadway past
Broadway to Beethoven.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
Beethoven and the Bard.
Beethoven and the Bard. Yeah. This program kind of came out as. Sometimes programming is difficult. You can come up with a great slogan that is great for marketing, but doesn't really come up with the best musical combinations. And then there are sometimes you come up with musical combinations that are great, but don't really follow a particular theme. And then there's trying to find that middle ground. And this one, it started out with the flagship piece was Beethoven's Fourth Piano Concerto, which is my favorite piano concerto. I think.
And for those who don't know, we should, piano is your instrument.
That is
you are a pianist.
That is my instrument. And in fact, I think people who are familiar with the piano concertos of Beethoven, the fifth one is probably the most popular, but amongst pianists, it's the fourth. There's something more mystical about this piece. And so we started with that. And so what am I going to pair that with? And I thought, well, why don't we pair it with a piece by a composer who actually rediscovered this piece. So after Beethoven premiered his Fourth Piano Concerto, it was all but forgotten. It was only after his death in the 1820s or so, this other composer named Felix Mendelssohn came by, and he rediscovered and championed the work. And so the reason why Beethoven's Fourth Piano Concerto lives on today is because of the artistry of Felix Mendelssohn. And Mendelssohn was also an amazing composer in his own right, and he is most well known for his music, incidental music of A Midsummer Night's Dream. And so that was really the underlying pinning that put this program together. And so A Midsummer Night's Dream obviously being a Shakespearean play, and there comes the title, Beethoven and the Bard.
So then when Mendelssohn wrote this, you said it was incidental music. So would this have been music that was composed to happen during a performance of Midsummer Night's Dream?
In fact, what happened is the incidental music to A Midsummer Night's Dream by Mendelssohn has 2 periods to it. The first, the overture, which we're performing, was originally conceived as a standalone piece. And then only towards later in his life, he revisited this piece and then created a whole bunch of other movements in a similar style that was then intended to be performed alongside a live performance of the play. So it started out more as an abstract musical interpretation of inspired by that later turned into actual utilitarian music to be used in the play itself.
I know who Mendelssohn is, of course. I don't know a lot about him.
Right.
Was he, I would imagine that he was very influenced by Beethoven if one of the things he did was rediscover this piano concerto.
You know, he has an interesting biography. He comes in and out of popularity throughout the ages. In fact, he was the most famous musician during his lifetime. And he's most noted for being a composer. He was also noted for the person who rediscovered Bach. Bach was all but completely forgotten, and he rediscovered the St. Matthew Passion, and then from then on rekindled this incredible interest in the music of Johann Sebastian Bach, and then also kept his eye out for other great masterworks, and another one fell in his lap, like the Fourth Beethoven Piano Concerto. He was also known as one of Europe's leading pianists of the day, and one of the world's leading violinists of the day. The guy was a Renaissance man.
Wow.
And I find it puzzling why his music comes in and out of vogue so often. He was Jewish, and during the Second World War, there was
that would have been problematic in Europe.
That was problematic in Europe, and but after the war, there's an interesting story that the Nazis sequestered all the music of Mendelssohn and Mahler into a crypt because they thought in the Third Reich they would never have to play Jewish music again. And then after the bombing of Berlin, the only portion of the library that remained intact of the Berlin Philharmonic was the music of Mahler and Mendelssohn. So it's a delicious irony to come out of that terrible situation.
Talking with Tim Hankowich from Orchestra Iowa about this weekend's upcoming concert, Beethoven and the Bard. Now, Mendelssohn is a piano player and a violin player. You are a pianist.
Yes.
So, how do you approach directing a piano concerto a little bit differently because you are a pianist yourself?
There's probably more groundwork that happened during my upbringing. Yes, I know I do have an affinity for the music. I've studied and actually played much of this music before. I'm not performing it myself. In fact, the soloist is Uriel Tahor.
Who we need to talk about.
Yeah, who's amazing from the University of Iowa. And but there are traditions and more or less predictable moments where a pianist will take license here and there. So I already know. You
already know where those are going to be.
I already know where the traps are.
Yeah. You and Uriel don't have to. You don't have to really. I mean, you will, but you don't have to discuss those because you already know where he's going to be.
Exactly. I mean, there's always flex. Nothing is ever written in stone, but you know the typical moments where there's room for interpretation, and so that really makes the rehearsal process that much more efficient. And on the contrary, when I'm learning, let's say, a violin concerto or a concerto that I've never performed before, like a new piece of music, anything can happen. I'm not. I have to learn where these moments of license can happen and all that sort of thing. So, yeah, I can cut to the chase a whole lot sooner with piano music.
So, and then you said the soloist is from the University of Iowa.
He's a professor on faculty at the University of Iowa. One of the drawbacks of being an orchestra that only does 6 to 8 masterworks a season is you have rare opportunity. And I've made it a priority since my tenure here to reach out to the University of Iowa and to feature a lot of the professors as soloists. And it's just taken a while for me to invite Uriel to join us, because I think this is the kind of repertoire that he really excels in. The music of Beethoven and Schumann and Brahms, the real great pianistic legacy pieces that he does so well. And I'm so looking forward to sharing the stage with him because he really is fantastic. I first heard him, actually, mind you, I think, 7, 8 years ago when he did a Mozart piano concerto that just blew me away. So it's been in the workings for quite some time. Now I'm just glad we got around to it.
It's Beethoven and the Bard with the Fourth Piano Concerto that Tim has been talking about, and then the music of Mendelssohn inspired by Shakespeare. And it's this 2 concerts this weekend?
Yes, I
have to keep track because you've done a couple of single things and some things just in Cedar Rapids. And so are we back to one in Cedar Rapids, one in Iowa City?
Correct. We have a Friday performance at 7:30 at the Paramount Theater. And
so Friday?
On Saturday.
Okay, Saturday.
On Saturday. And then on Sunday afternoon at 2:30 at West High School, we also have the repeat performance in Iowa City. So you get two chances to hear this great program.
And tickets at?
1-800-369-TUNE, TUNE, or you can go online at artsiowa.com.
Tim Hankowich from Orchestra Iowa. Thanks for coming in, and good luck with the concert this weekend.
It'll be a pleasure.